Friends, seekers of truth, fellow travelers on this intricate path of life, let us gather in this space, not merely as listeners, but as active participants in an exploration that touches the very core of our being. Today, we turn our gaze towards a shadow that often obscures the light of inner peace, the allure of blame. How readily do we point fingers, assigning responsibility for our discomfort, our misfortunes, our anxieties to external forces, the government, our parents, our partners, society itself. The list is endless. And while it is true that external factors can and do influence our lives, is it not equally true that our peace of mind hinges on something far more profound than shifting responsibility? Consider for a moment the landscape of our inner world. Observe the intricate interplay of thoughts, emotions, and reactions that shape our experience. Are we merely puppets dancing to the tune of external circumstances? Or do we possess the power to cultivate a garden of serenity within, regardless of the storms that may rage outside? To begin, let us acknowledge the deeply ingrained human tendency to seek external validation, external explanations. From childhood, we are often conditioned to look outside ourselves for answers, for approval, for solutions. This can create a pattern of dependence, a subtle abdication of responsibility for our own inner state. Think back to a time when you felt wronged, betrayed, or unfairly treated. What was your immediate response? Did you dwell on the injustice, replaying the events in your mind, assigning blame, and perhaps even seeking retribution? Did you allow those negative emotions to fester, poisoning your peace of mind? Now, consider an alternative response. What if, instead of focusing on the external agent of your discomfort, you turned your attention inward? What if you explored the root causes of your reaction, the underlying vulnerabilities that were triggered by the event? This is not to say that you condone or excuse harmful behavior. It is to say that you recognize the power you possess to choose your response, to navigate your inner landscape with awareness and compassion. It is to recognize that true peace comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering the art of self-regulation. The allure of blame is that it offers a temporary reprieve from the discomfort of self-reflection. It allows us to avoid the challenging work of examining our own patterns, our own biases, our own limitations. But this reprieve is fleeting, and the underlying issues remain unresolved, waiting to surface again and again. To break free from this cycle, we must cultivate a deeper understanding of the human condition. We must recognize that everyone, including ourselves, is doing the best they can with the resources they have available at any given moment. This does not excuse harmful behavior, but it does allow us to approach others with greater empathy and compassion. Furthermore, we must recognize that judgment and condemnation serve only to perpetuate a cycle of negativity. When we judge others, we are in effect judging ourselves. We are reinforcing the very patterns of thought and behavior that we seek to transcend. Instead, let us cultivate a practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior. It is about releasing ourselves from the burden of resentment. It is about recognizing that holding on to anger and bitterness only hurts ourselves. Forgiveness is a process, not an event. It may take time and effort to fully release the emotions associated with past hurts. But with patience and persistence, it is possible to cultivate a sense of inner peace, regardless of the actions of others. In addition to forgiveness, let us cultivate a practice of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking in our lives to what is abundant. It reminds us that even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude can be as simple as appreciating the beauty of nature, the warmth of the sun, or the kindness of a stranger. It can be as profound as recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, the inherent goodness of life itself. When we cultivate gratitude, we create a positive feedback loop. We attract more of what we appreciate into our lives. We become more resilient in the face of adversity. We experience a greater sense of joy and fulfillment. But perhaps the most important aspect of cultivating inner peace is embracing personal responsibility. This means taking ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It means recognizing that we are the authors of our own experience. This is not to say that we are solely responsible for everything that happens to us. Life is inherently unpredictable, and external circumstances can and do play a role. But it is to say that we have the power to choose how we respond to those circumstances. We can choose to react with anger, fear, or resentment. Or we can choose to respond with compassion, understanding, and resilience. The choice is always ours. To embrace personal responsibility is to acknowledge our capacity for both good and evil. It is to recognize that we are all capable of making mistakes, of causing harm, of falling short of our own ideals. But it is also to recognize that we have the power to learn from our mistakes, to make amends for our transgressions, to grow and evolve into more compassionate and responsible human beings. This journey of self-discovery is not always easy. It requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront our own shadows. But the rewards are immeasurable. As we cultivate inner peace, we not only improve our own lives, but we also contribute to the well-being of the world around us. We become more loving, more compassionate, more understanding. We become beacons of light in a world that desperately needs it. So let us begin today. Let us release the allure of blame and embrace the power of understanding and responsibility. Let us cultivate forgiveness, gratitude, and self-compassion. Let us create a garden of serenity within, a sanctuary of peace that no external storm can ever penetrate. This, my friends, is the path to true liberation, to lasting joy, to profound and unwavering inner peace. May we all walk it together, hand in hand, heart to heart, as we journey towards a world of greater understanding, compassion, and love.